Every time my adopted brother set me up, I'd go and get a new professional certification. He cried and claimed I pushed him down the stairs. That same day, I passed my CFA exam. He falsely accused me of ruining his watch project, and I got my CLISSB certificate. I used the nerdy grind they look down on the most Dell to silently build a massive bridge that they could never cross. Looking at a whole bookshelf of certs from every industry, my fiancé once asked me what it all meant. I joked that once I collected 100 certs, I'd dump her. Everyone thought I was just acting out for attention. When I got my 99th cert for spacecraft propulsion, system design, I even flexed it in the group chat. Nobody cared. When I hit cert number 100, my adopted brother fled a drunk driving crash to save him from jail. My fiancé suggested that innocent me take the fall. Mom and Dad, also for his sake, threw me my first ever birthday party. Yangshu is in bad health. He can't handle prison. Can you go to jail for him? I said no. But late one night, they personally threw me into a police car, and my fiancée used her family's power to lock me up. She said, "I'll marry you when you get out. Just tough it out for these 7 years." To make sure of it, she hired the best defense lawyers in Beijing to pin all the charges entirely on me. She actually thought I'd forgive her after getting out. What she didn't know was that, from day one that hellhole, I stopped hoping for love and family that never belonged to me, to completely cut ties with my biased parents and the fiancé who never loved me. I decided to hide my identity and dedicate my life to the country. 7 years ago, I was already accepted into the National Confidential Scientific Research Institute. The sad part is, before I even decided to go, my own biological parents sent me to prison. So, right before I got out, I applied for the institute again. Not long after hitting send, I got a reply, in 10 days. On December 10th, a special car will pick you up at exactly 9 p.m. I closed my eyes again. 10 days. I just had to survive 10 more days. And I could leave this toxic family forever. Taking my faded cloth bag from the guard, I bowed and limped out the gates of Qizong prison. A Maybach was already waiting outside. As the window rolled down, my fiancée, Su Xinyao, revealed her beautiful, cold face. She called my name, Jingshan. 7 years apart, and she hadn't changed a bit. Meanwhile, I instinctively ducked my head and got in. The rearview mirror reflected my scrawny, scarred-up face. Su Xinyao grabbed my bony hand. "You've suffered so much these past 7 years. I'll keep my promise and marry you." "Jingshan, why are you even skinnier than 7 years ago? And your jaw?" But I, looking at my skeletal reflection in her eyes, slowly pulled my hand away. I just gave a deadpan Su Xinyao noticed the cold shoulder and instinctively explained, "Yangshu knew you were coming back today," and it triggered memories of the crash 7 years ago. His depression flared up again. "Right now, your parents and brother are at the hospital with him." I listened in silence and closed my eyes. Before she could finish, her phone rang. I saw it at a glance. The caller ID read Yangshu. So, Xinyao picked it up, and whatever he said on the other end, her eyes filled with panic. She frantically told the driver, "Hurry back to the Yi house." When we rushed back to the mansion, I saw Li Yangshu in a white suit, standing on the roof of the villa. When he saw Su Xinyao and me pull up, his face went pale. "Mom, Dad, lil bro, Xinyao, since my older brother is back, it's time for me to give up my spot. Goodbye." And with that, he jumped off the roof. The Lai Villa is literally just a single story. It's maybe 10 meters from the roof to the ground. But when Li Yangshu jumped, my parents, my little brother, and Su Xiniao all sprinted toward him in a panic. That night, ambulance sirens echoed all around the Ely estate. For the next 5 days, my parents and brother stayed at the hospital. Li Yangshu didn't come home. Then, the TV in the dining room broadcasted the news. Su Xiniao, CEO of the SU Group, and Li Yangshu of the Li family announced their engagement. My pupils shrank. Right then, my parents, brother, and Li Yangshu all walked in. Su Xiniao was there, too. Seeing me, my dad spoke up. The doctor says Yangshu's depression is getting worse. So we took the liberty of deciding to give your engagement to Yangshu. You don't have a problem with that, right? I listened to them finish in silence, eyes full of mockery. They made the choice for me. But now, they have the nerve to ask my opinion. I looked at Su Xiniao and asked the obvious, Xiniao, did you agree to this? Su Xiniao stood up from the couch, walked over, and grabbed my hand. Yangshu's only wish right now is to marry me. Don't worry, I won't do you dirty. I'm just going through the wedding ceremony to fulfill his wish, marrying someone else. How is that not doing me dirty? I pulled my hand away, too exhausted to argue. Fine. Whatever you guys decide. Late at night in bed, I checked my phone calendar. December 7th. Just 3 days left. Just then, my phone buzzed. Su Xiniao was calling. I picked up. What's up? Her familiar pretty voice came through the speaker. Jingshan Yangshu saved my life once. He literally gave me his kidney. So, even if you aren't okay with it, I have to go through with this wedding. Lying in bed, hearing those words, I felt like a boulder just dropped on my chest. I was the one who saved her back then. I was the one who gave her a kidney. How the hell did it become Li Yangshu? Xiniao, when you were hurt, I was the one who saved you. I gave you my kidney. I couldn't hold it in anymore, and blurted out the truth. There was a beat of silence on the line. Then Su Xiniao spoke. Li Jingshan, after 7 years in prison, when did you become such a liar? Yangshu, obviously, saved me. Your parents and the doctors can all prove it. You really disappoint me. I lay there on the cold bed, suddenly, at a total loss for words. Years ago, Su Xiniao was attacked by people from a rival company. She was rushed to the OR and needed a transplant. I didn't hesitate to get tested for a match. It was a match. And without a second thought, I gave her my kidney. Yet now they say, Li Yangshu saved her. And I had zero way to prove myself. I hung up, closed my eyes, and fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, the house was crazy loud. The whole family threw a pre-wedding bachelor party. They invited a bunch of rich kids, along with some of Li Yangshu and my mutual classmates. My room didn't have a bathroom. As time ticked by, night fell. Su Xiniao set off fireworks across the whole city for Li Yangshu. She pulled me aside and said, Jingshan, after Yangshu and I have our fake wedding tomorrow, we can properly be together. I opened my mouth. Sorry, I'm not going to be with you anymore. Before I could say the rest, someone yelled out, Su Xiniao, come quick. We're starting the wedding pranks early. Su Xiniao turned her head and shouted back, got it? Then she looked back at me. Won't what? I gave a bitter smile. Go have fun. Su Xiniao squeezed my freezing hand and said, wait until the wedding is over tomorrow. It'll all be over. With that, she turned and left. I watched her walk away. Yeah, it'll all be over. I walked into the villa alone. Checked the time on my phone. 7:15. 1 hour and 45 minutes left. I took a long, clean shower, looking at myself in the mirror, covered in scars. souvenirs from prison. Then, I put on my cleanest, most expensive outfit from all these years, waiting for the state to come get me. During the final countdown hour, I threw out all my useless clothes, shoes, and bedding. Then I walked over to the desk and picked up a picture frame. Inside was a group photo from 12 years ago, when I first returned to the Li family. A photo of the Isu and Li families. Mom, Dad, my little brother, my adopted brother Li Yangshu, and Su Xiniao were all in IT. That photo held all the love I had left. But now, I pulled it out of the frame, ripped it to pieces, and tossed it in the trash. Finally, I looked at the journal I'd been writing since I came to the Li family at 15. The last page, the day before I went to prison, dated December 1st, 2017, had only one sentence: "They don't love me at all." At that moment, my eyes teared up. I couldn't help but grab a pen and write on the very last page. This time, I used the French that the whole family learned just for Li Yangshu. December 10th, 2024. Light snow. Mom, Dad, I'm leaving. Before I go, I really just have to ask you guys. Since you guys never liked me, why did you put ads in the papers looking for me back then? Is it really like what some people say, that a child you didn't raise yourself can't inspire any real affection? But why have I seen other parents look so incredibly happy after finding their kid? They say when parents find their biological child, it's like losing another child. I guess I'm just an exception. Being found by my parents was the exact moment I truly lost them. I poured out all my confusion and resentment from these years, jotting it all down in one breath. Li Sihuai, you said you only wanted Li Yangshu as your brother. Today you get your wish. From now on you only have one brother. Finally, I wrote to Su Xiniao. Xiniao, you said for me to wait until after your fake wedding with Yangshu, and then we could be together. Sorry, but I won't be waiting for you this time. Wishing you and Li Yangshu a happy life. Lastly, I'm leaving. Let's never see each other again. After writing all that, I left the journal on the desk. Then, I took my medical reports from prison and placed them right on top of the journal. The reports clearly showed that I only have one kidney. By the time I finished, it was 9 p.m. Holding my faded cloth bag, I limped out of the Li house. Behind me, the house was blazing with lights. The crowd was rowdily talking about wedding pranks. But in front of me, a fleet of black bulletproof SUVs sat quietly. I walked toward my future without a hint of hesitation. The cars drove away from the bustling streets, disappearing into the night forever. The Li house was still brightly lit, echoing with laughter inside. The next morning, wedding cannons fired into the sky. It marked the start of Li Yangshu and Su Xiniao's wedding. Mom and Dad were beaming with joy. Su Xiniao was chatting with her bridesmaids, discussing where to hide the wedding shoes, so Li Sihuai couldn't find them. Just then, Mom looked around and realized I was nowhere to be found. She frowned. Sihuai, where's your older brother? Why hasn't he shown up yet? Is he really going to be late to his own brother's wedding? Where are his manners? Li Sihuai replied casually, probably just doesn't want to see Xiniao marrying Yangshu. I mean, he liked her for so many years. Hearing that made Mom even more annoyed. Auntie Zhao, go get Li Jingshan out here. If he's not here, people are gonna gossip about our family and Yangshu. The maid nodded, but right as she went, Li Sihuai stopped her. You guys go set up the garden. The groom is coming soon. I'll go get my brother. He paused, then asked, which room is he in? Auntie Zhao replied, the storage room. Everyone froze. Dad looked confused. Why would Jingshan be in the storage room? Auntie Zhao looked down. When the eldest young master first came to the Li house, It was so sudden. We didn't have a room ready. Madam said to put him in the storage room for now. Hearing this, Mom frowned. I meant to get a room ready for him later, but I completely forgot. Wearing a tailored suit and an expensive limited edition watch, Li Yangshu sat comfortably on the couch and chimed in, even our storage room is better than when he was homeless on the streets. He should be fine in there. When Li Siwai heard that, he instinctively felt something was off, but he kept quiet. He frowned and walked to the storage room at the end of the hall. The moment he pushed the door open, a cloud of fine dust filled the air. Li Siwai instantly took a step back. Piles of junk stuffed a tiny dark room to the brim. My bed was shoved right up against a shelf full of clutter. Calling it a bed is a stretch. It was just a thin wooden plank laid over some buckets, and right next to the bed was a huge water tank. On top of it sat a busted desk lamp, a journal, and a stack of papers. Li Siwai was too shocked to speak. He didn't even cover his nose. He never thought that his own flesh and blood brother would live in a dump like this. This is the Lai house, Li Jingshan's own home. The storage room was so small you didn't need a second look to see I wasn't there. But if I wasn't here, where else could I be? Li Siwai thought it was weird. He walked over to the water tank, calling out for our parents. He grabbed the journal and that stack of papers. Medical reports. Mom, Dad, my brother isn't here. But he left this behind. Just as Dad was about to look, we heard the wedding party arriving outside. Mom spoke up first. He's probably just throwing a tantrum, and stormed out. Who knows who spoiled him enough to act like this? CY, come on out. Your sister-in-law is here. Dad had no choice but to follow her out, leaving Li Siwai standing there. Su Xinyao stood in the living room holding a bouquet, but there was zero joy on her face about getting married. She hadn't seen me in a week and couldn't help frowning. Where's Jingshan? Li Yangshu said, clearly annoyed. Xinyao, he probably just doesn't want to see us get married, so he ran off. Don't blame him. Mom backed him up. Xinyao, it's our fault for not raising Jingshan better. Don't let it get to you. Hearing this, Su Xinyao felt a wave of frustration. I already told him it was a fake wedding. Why couldn't he just wrap his head around it? She pulled out her phone and sent me a WeChat message. Why are you being so immature? Where are you? The message went into the void. Total radio silence. Su Xinyao stood there waiting for a long time, her face getting darker by the minute. Meanwhile, Li Sihuai walked out, feeling the heavy tension in the air. He instinctively tightened his grip on the journal and the reports. He had only skimmed the reports, but it was enough to shock him to his core. Li Sihuai felt he needed to verify if these reports were real. He didn't hand them over. Instead, he called over his most trusted assistant and told him to quietly dig into everything that happened to me in prison over those 7 years. Finally, Li Yangshu broke the suffocating silence. He walked up beside Su Xinyao and put his arm around her waist. It's fine if my brother left. He left. He's an adult. He's not gonna be in any danger out there. Hearing that, Li Siwai and Dad frowned. Yangshu really didn't give a damn about Jingshan. Su Xinyao said coldly, let's skip the rest of the ceremony. No need to go all out for a fake wedding. Yangshu, your only wish was to put on a suit and walk down the aisle with me. Let's just get it over with. With that, Su Xinyao led the way out to the Ali family's private chapel. Because it was a fake wedding, Su Xinyao didn't invite any guests. Besides the Li family and a priest, the chapel was totally empty. Looking at the pathetic, empty wedding setup, Li Yangshu finally snapped. Xinyao, so what if Li Jingshan left? You still have me. Am I really worse than that uncultured bastard? He's an ex-con. How is he good enough for you? Su Wenyao, losing patience, shot back. You literally threatened to jump off a roof. That's the only reason I agreed to this fake wedding. Now I've done my part. You got your wish. I'm going to find Jingshan. Saying that, she glared at Yang Zhu. And don't forget, Jingshan went to prison for you. As her words dropped, everyone froze in shock. Nobody expected Su Xiniao to bring that up right now. Right then, Li Yangshu whipped out a knife and held it to his neck. I don't care. Xiniao, how am I not as good as Li Jingshan? Why do you only love him and not me? Did you forget when you got hurt? I was the one who gave you my kidney. Mom was absolutely terrified by this. She lunged to grab the knife from Li Yangshu. Li Yangshu swung the blade wildly, slashing Mom's arm. He kept muttering, Mom, I just want Xiniao. Why can't I just have what I wanted? It's all Li Jingshan's fault. He deserves to die. Li Jingshan deserves to die. He should die. His hysterical cursing echoed through the chapel. The whole place descended into pure chaos. This circus finally ended with police cars and ambulances rushing to the chapel. Su Xiniao, trying to wrestle the knife away from Li Yangshu, also got hurt. Now, sitting in the ambulance, the paramedics were patching her up, but Su Xiniao acted like she couldn't feel the pain. Blowing up my phone with calls and WeChat messages. Jingshan, my fake wedding with Yangshu is over. Where are you? Stop being mad. I'm coming to find you, okay? I only did this because he's your brother. I was trying to help you, wasn't I? I just wanted to make things easier for you at the Lai house. Make your parents like you more. But no matter how many texts she sent, I didn't reply. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Mom ignored the gash on her own arm, badgering the doctor. My son has depression, and he's missing a kidney. He's already suffered so much. Please be careful when you stitch him up. Be gentle. He hates the pain. Seeing her so worked up, the nurse stopped in her tracks. Ma'am, I understand you're worried as a mother, but we've already done an initial exam on this gentleman. He's perfectly healthy, and he is certainly not missing a kidney like you claim. You really don't need to worry so much. Dad, supporting Mom, furrowed his brow slightly. What did you say? The nurse thought he didn't hear her, so she patiently repeated herself. Mr. Li is completely fine. Aside from a superficial cut on his neck, he has no other health issues. And he is definitely not missing a kidney like this lady mentioned. You two can relax. Once we clean up the cut, Mr. Li can go home with you. Both parents showed varying degrees of confusion and absolute shock. How is that possible? Mom was the first to snap out of it. Honey, we can't tell Xiniao about this right now. If she finds out, she'll definitely go confront Yangshu. And Yangshu can't handle any more stress right now. Dad actually kept a shred of logic intact. Have you thought about the fact that if Yangshu has 2 kidneys, then who was the donor for Xiniao back then? In a flash, the exact same name popped into both their heads. That forgotten, neglected biological son. Mom instinctively denied it. Impossible. While Dad frowned, staring at the unconscious Li Yangshu, until Li Yangshu was wheeled into his room. Neither of them said another word, but they could see the doubt in each other's eyes. Meanwhile, in the CEO's office of the Lai Group, 2 hours ago, Li Sihuai came straight back to the office from the chapel alone. As the heir to the Lai Group, digging up information was a piece of cake for him. His assistant was insanely efficient. Half an hour ago, he printed out everything he found and handed it over. Beyond the medical reports and files I left behind, the assistant even managed to score 2 videos. One was of Su Xiniao and me going into the war for the transplant. The other was footage of me in prison, getting brutally beaten. and tortured by other inmates. Li Si-Huai's eyes went red watching it. That was his actual older brother, even if he hated him growing up, even if he acted horribly towards him for his second brother's sake. They were still blood, his own flesh and blood older brother. How could I be bullied like this in prison? How did these guys have the guts to touch the eldest son of the Li family? Didn't Sister Sineo and Mom and Dad pull strings at the prison to make sure he was taken care of? And why did I look so thin and weak? Didn't he and Sister Sineo send him a ton of supplies through their connections? Question after question swirled in Li Si-Huai's head. He called his assistant back in and gave a cold order. Keep digging. I want more. Find out exactly why these guys assaulted the eldest young master. Who gave them the balls to do that? The assistant nodded. Understood, Mr. Lith. After the assistant left, Li Si-Huai slumped into his office chair. He closed his eyes, and the image of that storage room he saw this morning, the one I lived in for 12 years, flashed in his mind. After a long time, he finally opened his eyes and stared at that worn-out, cheap journal. Li Si-Huai suddenly felt like it was Pandora's box. Inside, there might be things that would shatter everything he believed over the years. Just like that thick stack of medical reports and hospital files, summoning all his courage. Li Si-Huai finally flipped open the first page of the journal. December 13th, 2012. I don't know why, but I get the feeling Mom, Dad, and my little brothers aren't super happy that I'm back, especially the brother named Yangshu. The way he looks at me is kinda weird, but maybe I'm just overthinking it. I'm gonna try my hardest to fit in. I want to be a good son and a good big brother. 2 hours later, Li Si-Huai finally reached the last page of the journal. When he saw the page full of French, he couldn't keep his composure anymore. His own brother actually knew French. Seeing that line, "From now on, you only have one brother," Li Si-Huai's hand shook as he held the journal. It hit him suddenly. I wasn't throwing a tantrum. I wasn't seeking attention. I really left. Truly abandoned this lover who didn't love me, and family who weren't really family. For a long time, Li Si-Huai couldn't process everything he'd just seen. If this morning, he was still questioning whether the reports were real. After finishing this journal, his doubts were completely crushed. Was everything he thought he saw over the years a lie? Did Li Yangshu really hide his true colors that well, that deep? Li Si-Huai suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. He took out his phone, wanting to call Su Jinao, because in my journal, there was a specific paragraph meant just for her. But right before hitting dial, Li Si-Huai hesitated. Sineo actually loved his older brother. Now that he's gone, if she sees this, she will definitely lose her mind. She'll go totally crazy, thinking it over again and again. Si-Huai decided to go to the hospital first. Some things just need to be sorted out within the Yi family first. It's better to handle it internally. Meanwhile, at the Su mansion, Su Sineo was constantly calling my phone. At first, it was just ringing endlessly, but later, it changed to "the number you have dialed is out of service." Clearly, I had canceled the number. This realization threw Su Sineo into a deeper panic. She vaguely sensed that she had lost something incredibly important, something she could never get back. Staring at the unanswered messages in the WeChat chatbox, Su Yeo's face was completely frozen. She made a special call, using all her connections to track me down, whatever the cost. Even if you have to turn the whole city upside down, find out where Jingshan is. After ending the call, Su Sineo sat alone in the desolate darkness, unable to calm down for a long time. A sleepless night. At 8 a.m. the next morning, Li Si-Huai rushed to the hospital. where the Li family was, only to be told by a nurse that early this morning, Mr. and Mrs. Li had already taken Mr. Li Jr. home. Frustrated, Li Siwai had no choice but to head back home. The Li mansion was already back to how it looked before the wedding, but the staff all looked miserable. The moment they saw Li Siwai, it was like seeing a savior. Third young master, please go take a look. Second young master is throwing a tantrum, crying and screaming. He's threatening to burn down eldest young master's room. Hearing this, Li Siwai furrowed his brow deeply. Outside the storage room, Mom had red eyes, clearly having just cried. Siwai, you're back. Hurry, and try to talk some sense into your second brother. Li Siwai didn't say a word, just pulled out the journal. Mom, Dad, I want you guys to read something first. The journal my oldest brother left behind. He flipped to the last page. My brother knows French. All those hurtful things we said before. He understood every word. As the words fell, the parents froze. Mom whispered, how could that be? He never studied anything, and he never showed it. Dad took the journal, reading it word by word. Li Siwai pressed his lips together and turned towards the storage room. Li Yangshu had already wrecked most of the stuff inside. Not that there was much left to begin with it. Seeing his crazed behavior, Li Siwai frowned. Second brother, you weren't the one who donated a kidney to Sister Xinyao back then, were you? The moment he said it, Li Yangshu, who was smashing things randomly, froze. Seeing his reaction, Li Siwai felt like a part of him suddenly collapsed inside. People's instinctive reactions don't lie. Realizing that he really had misunderstood me so much in the past, Li Siwai looked at Li Yangshu with eyes full of disappointment. Second brother, how many things have you lied to us about? Why did you intercept Mom and Dad and tell finance not to send my oldest brother his living expenses? Why did you have people torture my oldest brother in prison? Why did you lie about giving Sister Xinyao a kidney? Those three consecutive whys instantly deflated Li Yangshu's crazed momentum. He looked at Li Siwai. Little brother, what are you talking about? Just then the parents, having finished reading the journal, walked over. Siwai, what do you mean by those questions? We don't understand. Li Siwai sighed and took out the medical reports and medical records from his briefcase. Then he took out his phone and called his assistant. Let them all come in. 5 minutes later, the assistant walked in, bringing a prison guard, someone from Li Group Finance, and a fierce-looking man. But what no one expected was that Susinia walked in alongside them, looking cold as ice. She scanned the Li family, finally locking eyes with Li Yangzhu. I believe, as Jingshen's fiancé, I have the right to know the truth. Hearing this, Li Yangshu, who had been trying to act calm, turned deathly pale. His lips trembled slightly. Xinyao, what truth? I don't understand what you guys are talking about today. Li Siwai raised his voice a bit, his eyes full of disappointment. Second brother, are you still refusing to tell us the truth even now? Over the years, how many times have you framed my oldest brother? How many times did you make my oldest brother take the fall for you? Do I have to list them out one by one? As the words fell, Li Yangshu violently stumbled back a step, nearly falling to the floor. With red eyes he said, Siwai, I'm your second brother. How could you talk to me like that? Li Siwai scoffed coldly. Well, did you forget that Li Jingshen is my oldest brother? My biological older brother. As the words fell, Li Yangshu's face turned even paler. Perhaps the word biological stung him. He began clutching his chest and frowning, acting like he was struggling to breathe. Seeing Li Yangshu, looking so pale and fragile, Mom's protective instinct kicked in again. Enough, Siwai. Are you trying to push your second brother over the edge? Li Siwai couldn't believe it. Mom, you're still defending him. Do you have any idea how many horrible things he's done? Do you even know who your real biological son is? He pulled out the medical reports. My oldest brother only has one kidney. 7 years ago, he was the one who matched with Sister Sinyao, and he was the one who did the transplant surgery. During my oldest brother's 7 years in prison, he was in critical condition several times. It was all from being beaten for 12 years in the Lai house. None of us cared for him or loved him. Instead, we blamed him and hated him based on second brother's one-sided stories. But second brother's depression is totally fake. It's all an act. Saying this, Li Sihuai finally brought out the thing. That was the fatal blow to Li Yangzhu. The medical reports proving he has 2 kidneys, and the psychological evaluation proving his mental state is perfectly normal. This is Su Xiniao, who had been watching coldly from the side, finally spoke up. CY, give me Jingshan's medical reports. With trembling hands, Li Sihua handed the medical reports to Su Xiniao. Li Yangshu completely collapsed onto the floor. Critical condition notices, CT scans, and some scattered pathology photos. One after another. The further she looked, the more shocking it became. Su Xiniao's face grew darker and darker. There was even a full-body photo of me inside. Any exposed skin was covered in deep and shallow wounds. Those were from the beatings and torture in prison. Su Xiniao's icy expression changed drastically when she saw those wounds. Almost instantly she walked toward Li Yangshu, her eyes full of hostility. Tell me, what exactly did you do? What exactly did you do to Jingshan? Li Yangshu, why would you treat him like that? Unable to cover it up anymore, Li Yangshu gave a tragic smile. He looked at the stunned mom. Mom. It hurt so much, but the very next second, Li Sihuai blocked Mom, blocking her entire view, until everything is cleared up. Stop playing the victim in front of Mom. For so many years, you've taken advantage of Mom's soft heart, taken advantage of her love for you, to make her constantly hurt her own biological son. Li Sihuai closed his eyes, thinking of what the Lai family had done to me over the years. You're so cruel. Did you ever think that doing this would make us live in regret and pain for the rest of our lives? Li Yangshu didn't answer him, instead looking at Dad. Dad, haven't you always loved me the most? Hearing that, Dad gripped the journal tightly and looked away. In an instant, Li Yangshu knew he had lost all his chips to keep playing the innocent victim. He said airily, I wanted Li Jingshan to die, that's all. Su Xiniao's voice sounded like it was being squeezed from her throat. Her face was as dark as hell itself. Li Yangshu, she growled. What did you just say? Li Yangshu shuddered in fear. Just as he was about to speak, Dad's voice chimed in. Xiniao, I will give you an explanation. But, before that, take a look at the words Jingshan left for you. Hearing this, the murderous aura surrounding Su Xiniao faded a bit. She solemnly took the journal and flipped to the last page. My strong, neat handwriting came into view. Sorry, I won't wait for you this time. Wishing you and Li Yangshu a happy life. Lastly, I am leaving. Let's never see each other again. Looking at the date again, December 10th, 2024. It turns out that on the day she and Li Yangzhu kissed in publicly, I was already thoroughly disappointed and determined to leave. And not only did she not notice a thing, she arrogantly assumed she and I still had a future. In front of everyone, this famous golden girl of Beijing The cold-faced boss who could turn the world upside down with a flick of her wrist showed a heartbroken expression. A tear of pure regret slid down Su Xinyao's face. Li Yangshu was still desperately trying to explain. Xinyo, listen to my explanation. I didn't mean it. But Su Xinyo was no longer moved. You didn't mean it. Then, who did? Li Jingshan, or me? The anger of being deceived, the coldness, and my deep regret all crashed into Su Xinyo at once. Her heart ached terribly. She no longer had any of her usual gentleness for Li Yangshu. Su Xinyo scowled at Li Yangshu. Yangshu, I don't understand why you would do this. You clearly have everything. The whole family favors you, and they all think Li Jingshan is an outsider. Even when he came back, it didn't affect your status at all, did it? Seeing that saying anything was useless, Li Yangshu stopped pretending. And what about you? Did he not affect you? Xinyo, did Li Jingshan returning really not affect you? Did it not affect my place in your heart? Li Yangshu looked at Su Xinyo, his eyes full of sorrow. That question felt like a blow to the head. Su Xinyo immediately froze. Seeing her reaction, Li Yangshu smirked self-deprecatingly. The moment I say it, you realize it. After Li Jingshan came back, Mom and Dad didn't change. But you did. At first, I believed you were just curious about him, that it was a novelty. But later, the way you looked at him started to change. Li Yangshu's tone became full of hatred. Xinyo, when Li Jingshan pushed his way between us, when the scales of your heart started tipping toward him bit by bit, and you didn't even notice. How could I not be jealous? How could I not hate him? I watched him so effortlessly make you obsessed, and I felt an unprecedented sense of crisis. If you, the person who interacted with him the most too, unknowingly switched to his side, would Mom, Dad, and my little brother do the same? So I had to make him leave. Make him disappear from our sight. But just disappearing wasn't enough. I had to destroy his image in all of your minds. I had to turn him into a petty person, into an unforgivable villain. Hearing this, Su Xinyo's disbelief slowly morphed into utter disappointment. Yangshu, when did you become like this? Li Yangshu laughed and cried at the same time, as if he were just repeating Su Xinyo's words, or perhaps asking himself. He snapped his head up, nearly screaming until his voice went hoarse. How did I become like this? It's all because of that bastard, Li Jingshan. Why did he have to come back? The second he came back, you changed. His very existence was a constant reminder that I'm a fake. I'm a total clown. Li Siwai spoke up. Second brother, how could you think that? Mom, Dad, and I have always been on your side. But how could you do this? His eyes instantly filled with tears. Mom, Dad, and I believed in you so much and treated you so well. How could you be this kind of person? I don't know which word struck a nerve in Li Yangshu, but looking at his younger brother's hurt face, he felt zero guilt. Instead, a twisted sense of satisfaction rose up in him. Li Yangshu smirked and sneered. I've always been this kind of person. Unlike you Li family members, all so stupid, all so kind-hearted. I was born bad. Are you happy now? Li Siwai raised his voice. Nobody ever said you weren't part of the Li family. Even when Li Jingshan came back, we still treated you as our closest family, and he never even thought about taking anything away from you. How could you do this? Li Siwai walked towards Li Yangshu. How can a person be as greedy as you while you were living the high life in the Li house? Li Jingshan was homeless, wandering the streets. You'd already gotten so much, and when he came back, you still plotted against him like this. He laughed bitterly. Our family really is stupid. For you, Mom and Dad gave up their own biological son. And I gave up my biological brother. We're so stupid. Listening to these words, Susinio felt a wave of intense, suffocating pain in her heart. If time could restart, if she could go back 7 years, and stop all of this from happening. But there are no ifs in this world. What's done is done. Everything that happened, all the damage caused, can't be undone. A loud slap rang out. Li Yangshu clutched his cheek, staring at his father in disbelief. Dad's face was dark. His eyes filled with disappointment. Dad looked at Li Yangshu calmly, his tone freezing cold. You have no right to call me Dad anymore. Didn't you just say you're not a live family member? Since that's the case, we will pay back what we owe Jingshan. And of course, what you owe Jingshan, you must pay back too. As the last word fell intensely, Dad's heart was too chaotic, too pained. For a moment, everyone froze. Li Siwai, the first to react, closed his eyes, tears silently falling. He looked at Li Yangshu. You're a thief, a sinner. I will never forgive you. With that, he left this suffocating house without a second thought. As he walked out the door, he stumbled, almost falling. Honestly, anyone would find it hard to accept that the person they'd been defending was actually the worst one of all, and the one who had been constantly misunderstood. How despairing must I have felt? How much pain? Li Siwai didn't dare to think about it. Right now, Li Yangshu stood there like a log, his face flushed red, then pale. He actually felt that Li Siwai, calling him a thief, hurt more than that slap. It made him feel humiliated, wanting to crawl into a hole. Xinyao, he started, but was immediately shut down by Su Xinio's ruthless glare. Not only was Su Xinio's expression icy, her tone was colder than ever before. You don't have the right to call me that anymore, Li Yangshu, unwilling to give up, said. But just because of this one thing, is there really no room for turning things around between us? Li Yangshu couldn't understand. He and Su Xinio grew up together. Just because of me who showed up halfway through. Just because he did a few things wrong. Was Su Xinio going to completely write off all those years? Li Yangshu looked sincere, as if genuinely wanting an answer. Su Xinio scoffed coldly. I see that even now, you still think what you did wrong was just some little thing. Li Yangshu looked at her like it was obvious. Isn't it? Li Jingshan only went to jail for 7 years. He didn't die. Su Xinio demanded loudly. Do you have any idea how much torture he endured in prison? He's covered in scars from head to toe. Li Yangshu, throwing caution to the wind, shot back. So what? He deserved it. Who asked him to come back? So what if I faked it? So what if I had him tortured? I wanted him dead. But I couldn't be too obvious. Because if I was, I'd be the one you guys hated and despised. As he spoke, Li Yangyu reached out, wanting to hug Su Xinio. There was a sickening crack, the sound of bone breaking. Su Xinio, with a dark scowl, grabbed Li Yangshu's wrist. Squeezing with such force, she snapped his bone. Li Yangshu clutched his hand and screamed. At the same time, on a plane, I just woke up from a long dream. I opened the window shade and stared blankly at the pitch-black sky. I dreamt of Mom, Dad, and my little brother Li Sihuai, and that Shaniao I loved for so many years. Luckily, the announcement that the plane was arriving broke through. Ladies and gentlemen, we are scheduled to arrive in Dominica in 5 minutes. The ground temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. The aircraft is beginning its descent. I tossed those dark dreams to the back of my mind, looking at the increasingly bright and clear city outside the window. I smiled slightly. I've arrived in Dominica. I'm welcoming a new life. A girl walked over with a phone. Hello, are you Mr. Liu? She was a head shorter than me, with healthy, sun-kissed skin. When she grinned, her teeth were incredibly white. I nodded in response. I am. Are you Linda? Linda's smile grew even brighter. Yes. The landlord and folks at the institute asked me to pick you up. Seeing I only had one backpack, she didn't reach out to grab my luggage, but instead walked alongside me. Linda very respectfully maintained international social distancing as she enthusiastically introduced the place. Dominica is an island nation. Population's only around 80. Since it's your first time here, the landlord was worried you'd get lost, so he sent me. I'm a tenant, too. I live right below you. Linda led me out of the small airport, explaining things as we went. I immigrated via passport investment, and during the process, you can change your name, and your old name won't show up. So, all my documents now say Liu Shengyu. Everything from Beijing, everything about my past, has been completely and thoroughly erased. Except for me, no one else will ever know Liu Chengyu's past. Was Li Jingshan. The apartment was found for me by my prison guard friend, Xiao Zhou. It's an attic apartment with a view of the ocean and the volcano. I smiled. All right? Thanks. To you and the landlord. As a thank you, how about I cook you guys a Chinese dinner tonight? Linda was so happy she almost jumped. Really? That's awesome. To be honest, the landlord and I haven't had Chinese food in forever. It's no exaggeration to say, Chinese food is the best in the world. But I can't really handle spicy stuff. Linda scratched her head, looking a bit embarrassed. Looking at this genuine shy girl, I replied very understandingly, no problem. I can make non-spicy dishes too. Linda practically skipped, even her freckles seeming to dance. That is amazing. If you're down to cook Chinese food a couple of times a week, I bet the landlord would gladly knock off a quarter, or even half your rent. Looking at her, my mood lifted as well. It's just the beginning, and I can already feel my new life is full of endless hope. Meanwhile, back in Beijing, Su Xiniao tossed and turned all night, restless. Whenever she closed her eyes, all she could see was my skeletal frame. In her dream, I had dark bruises on my neck. Looking at her coldly, my eyes were completely stripped of any affection or warmth. Su Xiniao couldn't handle it. No, it shouldn't be like this. How could I look at her like a stranger? I know the truth now. I know everything about the past. Su Niao took the initiative to say, I was wrong. Someone who never backed down, stumbling through an apology. But I interrupted her with a cold expression. And so, 1, I was wrong. And the 7 years I was framed and tortured are just wiped clean. I smirked. Should I be thanking you for letting me off easy? Su Xiniao. An uncontrollable pang shot through her heart. No, I didn't mean it like that. I know you've been through hell. But can you please give me a chance to make it up to you? Where did you go? Can you please tell me? As if I heard a joke. Make it up? Does someone like you even know how to do that? My gaze was so cold and full of disgust. Su Xiniao, I hate you. I will never forgive you. It sounded like a curse delivered with everything I had. Su Xiniao snapped awake from her dream. Right then her phone rang loudly. It was her assistant Wu. Su Xiniao frowned and answered, Miss Su. The Lai family's second young master jumped off a building. Su Xiniao pinched the bridge of her nose, only caring about the outcome. Is he dead? Assistant Wu replied, No. Firefighters arrived in time. When he jumped, the inflatable cushion and rescue slide were already set up. Plus, the second young master never really planned to die. That last sentence wasn't something Assistant Wu should have said. Realizing his slip-up, he immediately apologized. "I'm sorry, miss, so I just can't accept what the second young master did to the eldest young master. So I got a little emotional. I'll be careful. It won't happen again." In the past, Su Xiniao would have absolutely lost it, maybe even firing Assistant Wu on the spot. But after knowing the truth, her attitude toward Li Yangshu had completely flipped. So, Assistant Wu's little comment meant nothing. Su Xiniao looked out the window. It was still snowing in Beijing tonight. Assistant Wu's voice came through again. "Miss Su, the car is already in the parking lot. The Li family hopes you'll go visit him." Turns out they hadn't hung up the call. In the end, Su Xiniao still went to Sishan Sanatorium. But right as she reached the room, Li Yangshu scrambled toward her, practically crawling, with tears streaming down his face. "Xiniao, how could you do this to me?" Li Yangshu's tearful accusation sounded incredibly familiar to Su Xiniao. In that flickering dream, a skeletal me had asked her the exact same thing. "Xiniao, how could you do this to me? Did I cry back then? Did I shed a tear?" For a few dazed seconds, Su Xiniao seriously tried to remember when we saw each other outside the prison after 7 years. Or the last time I collapsed in the Li house. I never shed a single tear in front of her. Su Xiniao looked down at Li Yangshu, who had become gaunt and pale overnight. A barely there smirk touched her lips. "Yangshu, I haven't even started doing anything to you yet." That short sentence felt like being dunked in ice water to Li Yangshu. Trembling, he looked up with tear-filled eyes. "Xiniao." Su Xiniao's icy voice cut through. "Yangshu, I had Assistant Wu look into Li Jingshan's medical records from his 7 years in prison. I also found a lot of orders that were supposedly from me, like destroying Li Jingshan's face, or making sure he died quietly in solitary confinement. Things like that." Su Xiniao locked eyes with Li Yangshu calmly. "Did you do these things too?" Li Yangshu gritted his trembling teeth and slowly squeezed out a single word. "Yes?" Hearing that word, Su Xiniao's heart sank completely. She finally understood why I would occasionally have those sudden reactions. Was I afraid of being beaten again? Because for those 7 years, every inmate who beat me, who humiliated me would say, "Someone on the outside wants you dead." Li Yangshu watched Su Xiniao's increasingly icy face. His eyes filled with pleading. He got on his knees to apologize. "Xiniao, I'll change. Where is Jingshan? I'll kneel down and apologize to him." "Okay." Su Xiniao suddenly smiled bitterly, her heart aching unbearably. "What's the point of kneeling and apologizing now? No one knows where Jingshan has gone. No one can undo the damage done to him." Her heart hurt so much, she wished she could travel back in time and kill the foolish version of herself from 7 years ago. Seeing Su Xiniao remain silent, Li Yangshu grew more anxious and scared. Then, he heard Su Xiniao say, "You'll have plenty of time to count your sins." Just then Mom, Dad, and little brother Li Suai all arrived. Seeing their once most loved son crying and snotting all over himself, Mom didn't know how to describe her feelings at that moment. Yesterday, Li Suai had already told them everything. Mom had fainted several times. Dad, who had quit smoking for over a decade, sat aside, looking defeated as he lit up a cigarette. "Yangshu, why did you have to do this?" Everyone, upon learning the truth, would ask Li Yangshu that one word. "Why?" Li Yangshu was silent for a moment. He looked at Mom, Dad, and Li Suai, and suddenly smiled sadly. "So what? If you raised and loved me for over 10 years, he's the one whose blood related to you. For all these years, he'd been trapped by those 2 words, blood relation. Some things are just innate in blood. And blood is the most impossible thing to defeat. Mom beat her chest. You're so foolish. And it wasn't just you who was foolish. We were wrong. We were all wrong. At this point, Mom's heart was like dead water. She looked at Susinio. What about him? Have you sent anyone to look for him? Mom pounded her chest, consumed by regret and pain. Dad and Lee Siwai didn't look too good either. Clearly, they hadn't been sleeping well either. That's my son, my own flesh and blood. And I actually drove him away. How disappointed must he be in me? How much must he hate me? I loved him so much when I gave birth to him. When he went missing, I wanted to die. Why did I treat him like that? I'm a monster. I don't deserve to be a mother. Mom sobbed uncontrollably. Dad supported her, just staying silent for a long time before he spoke. Shinio, CY and I have already used all of the Lai family's connections to look for Jingshan. I know you're anxious too, and that you're also looking for him. Please, I'm begging you, if you get any news, can you let me know? With that, Dad was about to bow. Su Xiniao stopped him. Uncle, finding Jingshan is my responsibility. Dad hurried to say. Okay. Please, if you hear anything, make sure to let the Li family know. Mom muttered. We have to pay back what we owe him. Whether he accepts it or not. Whether he forgives us or not. We have to pay it back. From beginning to end. My parents didn't look at Li Yangshu once as. Li Siwai supported our nearly collapsed mother, his eyes still red. Sister Xiniao, our family's stance is, people must be punished for the wrong they do. Li Yangshu brought this on himself. Let the law handle it. At this, Li Yangshu finally lost it and screamed, No! Dad, Mom, little brother, how could you do this to me? My last name is Lai. I'm your family. For over 20 years didn't you love me? How can you treat me like this? Xiniao, I'm begging you. I'm willing to apologize to Li Jingshan. I'll kneel. I'll kowtow. Whatever it takes. Li Yangshu had lost all his dignity. He crawled on his knees, reaching for Su Xiniao's dressiniaos. But Su Xiniao ruthlessly took a step back. Li Yangshu tried to grab our parents. But they stepped back, too. Even our soft-hearted mother didn't waver this time. She looked at this son, who she'd loved for over 20 years, with absolute disappointment. Yangshu, begging anyone now is useless. Heaven is watching what people do. You've enjoyed Jingshan's life for so many years. Now it's time to give it back to him. None of us will let you get away with it anymore. You have to pay the price for what you've done. Hearing this, Li Yangshu's mind went blank. An unprecedented panic washed over him. See why, Mom, Li Yangshu threw himself at the Li family, trying to grab anyone's hand. But he missed. Li Siwai, supporting Mom, subtly dodged Li Yangshu. Li Yangshu kept shaking his head, looking pleadingly at Dad. How can you guys do this to me? I can't go to jail. Why should I go to jail? Dad, say something. Dad yelled, Enough! In the past, the family could tolerate your little mistakes. But now, doing something so vicious to your own brother, using our family's love for you, playing us like fools. What's the point of acting fake now? Dad looked exhausted, his eyes full of disappointment. After Li Jingshan came back, we didn't mistreat you just because he was our biological son. In fact, because we were afraid you'd be upset, we even neglected him. And yet you still weren't satisfied. You even did something this shameful. Dad had been a force in the business world for decades. He never thought that in his old age, he'd be deceived by the son he raised for 27 years. Right now he was furious. Since you've shown no heart or loyalty, our Lai family will act like we never had you as a son. We'll just consider those 27 years of time and energy fed to the dogs. With that, Dad said heavily, let's go. Tell the butler to throw all his things out. From now on, there's no Li Yangshu in our Li family. Li Yangshu was stunned. He probably never expected Dad to turn his back so ruthlessly. Li Yangshu yelled, so now everything is my fault. You didn't even care about your own biological son, your own biological brother. You didn't trust him. And now it's all my fault. You're the ones who were blind. You're the ones who were stupid. You deserve this. And Li Jingshan deserves it too. A heavy slap landed hard on Li Yangshu's face. This time, it was actually Mom, who had always loved Li Yangshu the most. With red eyes, she said, all these years, we failed as parents to teach you right. Now, we have to go make amends. And you must pay for your sins too. Miss Su will leave these two matters to you for now. We will also send people to look for him. We will do what we must. Mom wiped away a tear. Though heartbroken, she pulled herself together. Sung Yao simply said, okay. After the family left, only Su Xianiao and Li Yangshu were left in the hospital room. I know you don't want to die. Don't even think about using death as a threat again, or using it to get attention. As you can see, no one is buying it anymore. Spill every single thing you've done to Jingshan over the years. In detail. Su Xianiao looked at Li Yangshu. I'll consider it. Making your time in prison a little easier. Half an hour later, Su Xianiao walked out of the room. On the voice recorder, Li Yangshu had confessed to every crime he committed against me. Over the years, Su Xianiao's heart twisted in agony. She couldn't imagine how I survived all those years alone. Su Xianiao muttered to herself, Li Jingshan, where are you right now? Dominica. I sat on the open-air balcony, watching the ocean sparkling under the bright sun, lost in thought. A sea breeze brushed past. I stood up, walked into the room, and took out my paints and canvas. When I was at the orphanage, I learned to paint from the director for almost 10 years, until she passed away. Those years, though money was tight, I was much happier than at the Lee house. Just then, my phone buzzed with a message. It was from my prison guard friend, Xiao Zhou. Are you doing okay over there? She and the others are all looking for you. I kept my lips sealed. I tapped the screen and replied, thanks. I'm doing great here. If you ever have time, come visit. There's a really beautiful ocean, and a volcano that might erupt, who knows when. I work from sunrise to sunset. I finally feel happy. I put down my brush and replied to Officer Zhao. I didn't expect Officer Zhao, who was 12 hours ahead, to reply instantly. That's great. I'm genuinely happy for you. I just wanted to check on you and let you know they're all looking for you. Live well. No need to reply to this. After all, the more I say, the more likely I am to slip up. Since I've already started a new life, it's better to cut off all possibility of being disturbed. That's what Officer Zhao was thinking. I saw the words "no need to reply," and smiled knowingly. How could I not understand Officer Zhao's good intentions? During those 7 years in Shizong prison, if it hadn't been for his help, I probably would have died 1,000 times over. The landlord came up to the roof to dry fruit, and spotted me sitting in front of the easel. Chenju, I didn't know you could paint so well. I smiled and said, just messing around. It's not very good. That wasn't modesty, it was the truth. After returning to the Lai family, I hadn't picked up a brush, let alone during those 7 years in Shizong prison. The landlord chuckled. Oh hush. What do you mean? It's not good. I think it's fantastic. Look at that sky. That ocean, how beautiful. If you have time, paint one for me. I'll hang it in the dining room. Faced with such direct praise, I felt a bit awkward. The landlord continued, Chenju, no matter what your past was like, the fact that you're here now means you're a completely new person. You can live a brand new life. Don't let the past keep dragging you down. If you pretend to let go but still hold on, it'll only make you miserable. The landlord's tone was sincere. Her weathered hand gently brushed the top of my head. A faint, warm scent of chamomile, likely from an essential oil she often used. I looked at this half-Chinese, half-American woman in her 50s, and suddenly felt my eyes well up. An urge to cry washed over me. For all these years, no matter what hardships I faced, no matter how much physical or mental pain I endured, I never cried. The landlord didn't notice anything wrong, just kept smiling brightly. Chenju, when you're done painting, come downstairs. I'll make you some fruit tea. I nodded. Okay, let's have hot pot tonight. We'll invite Linda. I smiled. To meet good people like the landlord and Linda, right off the bat in an unfamiliar place like Dominica. Maybe God finally decided to give me a break. Plus, what the landlord said really struck a chord with me. Since I've chosen to start over, I shouldn't let the past hold me back, whether in mind or body. Once I finished painting the horizon, I decided to find a tattoo parlor. 9 years ago, that scar on my waist, left because of Niao, should no longer remain. On my skin or my body? On my skin or my body? On a piece of white paper, I carefully sketched an eagle, wings spread, ready to fly. Then, humming a tune, I followed the GPS to a tattoo parlor. The tattoo artist was a white girl, maybe 17 or 18, but her skills were surprisingly good. When I saw the eagle on my waist in the round mirror, it felt like a long brewing storm had been stirred up in my heart. The bravest eagle in the world. From now on, it would replace that jagged, twisting scar, living forever on my waist. The girl smiled and said, if you ever need anything else, you can come find me next time. This looks really good on you. Very handsome. I gave the white girl a bright smile and replied in fluent English, thank you. If I need to, I'll definitely come back. Your skills are great. I'll recommend you to any friends who want one too. As I walked out of the tattoo parlor, the wind chimes on the revolving glass door made a pleasant clinking sound. I looked back once, and it was like seeing a blurry version of my past self, waving goodbye to me. I silently mouthed, goodbye. For the rest of my life, I'll only look forward. I'll never look back again. Beijing. Time flies. Days slip away like a shuttle. In the blink of an eye, 6 years had passed. Su Zinio and the Li family still had absolutely no clue where I was. It shows that, no matter how much power and influence those two families had in Beijing, if someone truly wants to vanish off the face of the earth, they won't be found. Besides, I was taken away by the National Confidential Scientific Research Institute. At the Su Group headquarters, Su Ziniao had visibly lost a lot of weight. Just then, the phone rang. If a call came directly to Su Xiniao's office, it either meant they found me, or it was from the prison. Su Yinao prayed it was the former. She rubbed her tired brow and picked up the phone. The warden's voice came through, sounding cautious. Miss Su, the second young master's mental state isn't looking too good. He's been acting crazy every day. And now, he's started attacking people. The prison doctor thinks it's best to send him to a psychiatric hospital. What do you think? Su Xianiao asked with a hint of impatience. Is it real this time, or is he faking it? After all, Liang Shu had already pulled the crazy act once, 2 years ago. The warden replied, it's real this time. I had the prison doctor do a thorough examination and testing on the second young master. Su Xinyao replied coldly. I'll send a car to pick him up. Dropping those words, Su Xinyao quickly hung up the phone. For the past 6 years she had people in the prison take special care of Li Yangshu. Whatever I had endured before, Li Yangshu endured the exact same. The Li family had no objections to this. It was as if, after that day, 6 years ago, they had completely, thoroughly given up on their son, Li Yangshu. Human nature is so fickle. Maybe I would have sighed if I knew. But, right now, Su Xinyao just looked down at the photo on her desk. In the photo, I looked pitifully thin, wearing crumpled clothes, expressionless. Where in the world are you? Li Jingshen. I know. Only when everyone is in as much pain as you, does it count as an apology. But if you don't come back, how am I supposed to pay you back for what I owe you? Su Xinyao traced my features in the photo, filled with endless regret, endless loneliness. But at that very moment, I had already returned to Beijing. After finishing my task at the National Confidential Scientific Research Institute early, I was allowed to do my own thing. So I started painting for people. This time, I came back with the famous art agent, Miss Lan, which means I'm now a somewhat well-known painter. My paintings start at least $50 internationally. As soon as I landed in Beijing, I saw Officer Xiao Zhao waiting for me at the airport. Officer Xiao Zhao joked, "Haven't seen you in half a year. You've gotten a bit of a tan." I argued back, "This is a healthy, sun-kissed glow." To be fair, I had gotten a bit tanner over the last 6 months. Because after Miss Lan discovered my street art, I often went out to sea. The ocean, the sky, the volcanoes, the nature I painted, all had a natural sense of immersion, both vivid and, when we parted ways, I told Officer Xiao Zhou, "I have a gala to attend tonight. I'll treat you to dinner tomorrow." Officer Xiao Zhao looked relieved. "All right. It turns out time really is the best medicine. In just a few months, I was completely reborn. But now, I guess I should be called the great painter Lu Shangyu." At the Oriental Hotel, Su Xinyao was invited by a business partner to attend this so-called welcome reception for a rising star in the art world. But when she and the guest of honor locked eyes, the champagne glass in her hand silently crashed to the floor, shattering into pieces. Su Xinyao thought she was hallucinating. She stared at my profile, not daring to blink for even a second. Jingshen. Miss Lan noticed her stare. "Chenyu, do you know her?" she asked, gesturing towards Su Xinyao. I frowned, and looked Su Xinyao up and down, then replied indifferently, "No, I don't." Su Xinyao instinctively wanted to step forward, but forced herself to hold back. "I'm Su Xinyao. You're Li Jingshen. How could you not know me?" I tilted my chin up, aloof and distant. "Miss, you've got the wrong person. My last name is Lu." In that instant, her past dreams became reality. Su Xinyao suddenly felt cold all over, because my expression was calm, and the unfamiliarity in my eyes was so natural. Su Xinyao clenched her hands. "I'm sorry. Mr. Lu looks so much like an old friend of mine. I made a mistake." Anyone would find it ironic. After all these years, the first "I'm sorry" the victim hears is in a situation like this. I smiled faintly. Did I hate Su Xinyao? Once, of course I did. I hated her for being blind, for not knowing right from wrong. Hated her for taking my heart, my kidney, and repaying me with 7 years of living hell. But all of that is in the past now. So, this "I'm sorry" didn't seem so important anymore. I nodded, and understandingly showed forgiveness. "It's fine. Miss Su, your dress is wet. Let a waiter take you to the dressing room to change. Then, I took Miss Lan's hand and elegantly glided onto the dance floor. No matter how fiercely Su Xinyao's gaze followed me, I never looked back. It wasn't forgiveness. It was just whatever. At this point, between you and me, there's a gap as wide as a chasm. Everything has changed. I don't hate you, but I won't love you ever again, either. Su Xinyiao felt a sharp, piercing pain in her chest. That was clearly Jingshan. The same Jingshan who cried endlessly in my dreams, and looked at me so coldly. Why are you pretending not to know me? Looking at that tall, straight back, Su Xinyiao murmured to herself, but it's okay. As long as you're back. As long as you're back, she smiled. The gloom that had clouded her mood for half a year suddenly lifted significantly. Li Jingshan, we have a long road ahead of us. 2 hours later, at the Li mansion, Su Xinyiao had assistant Wu tell the Li family the news of my return. Hearing this, Mom almost dropped her teacup. What did you say? You saw Jingshan? Li Siwai also couldn't help but ask anxiously. My older brother, where is he now? Is he doing okay? Is he healthy? Assistant Wu looked troubled, hesitating over whether he should tell the Li family. That I was now. Lu Chenyu. Don't worry. Second young master. The eldest young master is doing very well right now. It's just, Li Siwai urged, just what? Spit it out. Under the Lai family's burning gazes, Assistant Wu finally told them the truth. The eldest young master changed his name. He goes by Lu Chenju now. In the art world, he's a highly praised rising star. Hearing this, Mom froze. Art? I never even knew he could paint. As if caught in a memory, her eyes instantly went red. Assistant Wu, please, wait a moment. With that, Mom hurried up to her bedroom on the second floor. A moment later, she came back down carrying a large bag, filled with what looked like drawing paper and supplies. These are things I bought for him 27 years ago, when I was pregnant. Please, if possible, pass them on to him for me. I never gave him a mother's love. I never raised him. And when he came back, I played favorites, favoring the one who had stolen his identity his whole life. I'm not trying to make excuses for myself. At this point, Mom was almost choking on her tears. It's just, when I was pregnant with him, I really swore I would love him with all my heart. These drawings were all for him, before he was even born. If he wants to look at them, he can. If he doesn't, he can burn them. Or throw them in the trash. That's fine too. It's Mom and Dad's fault. We don't expect his forgiveness. As long as he's doing well, as long as he's healthy and happy, that's enough. Even before I was born, my mother's only hope was for her son to be healthy and happy. So why did things turn out this way? That was her own flesh and blood. The biological son she painstakingly carried for 10 months. Why, after I came back, did she find me so utterly insufferable? Why did she not only fail to love me, but instead hurl vicious words at me for someone else's sake? Every night, after learning the truth, Mom would dream of the day I returned to the Lai house, after getting out of prison. A lifetime of regret. Mom grasped Assistant Wu's hands and choked out, Assistant Wu, I'm begging you, if there's any news about Jingshan, no matter what, please tell me first. Whatever reward you want, you can have it. Whatever Miss Su pays you, I'll double it. Assistant Wu was a little flustered. You're too kind. This is the job Miss Su gave me anyway. Rest assured. With that, he took his leave. Watching Assistant Wu leave, Li Siwai hugged his mother to comfort her. Mom, it's okay. Water wears away stone, and feelings grow over time. As long as we pour our hearts into my older brother, he will come home. However, everyone there knew it wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be coming back. 5 years ago, the old butler showed them the security footage. of me coming home for the first time after prison, only to be chased away. At the end of the footage, I faced the main house and gave 3 solid kowtows. My meaning was clear: utter disappointment. Ties severed. Mom patted Li Siwai's hand. Don't try to comfort me or yourself. If Jingshan doesn't want to come back, it's what we deserve. How is Yang Shu doing? Li Siwai answered truthfully. I heard he got picked up by a psychiatric hospital. With his personality, how could he accept that his face is ruined and his leg is crippled? It's just a taste of his own medicine. Let's just hope he's not faking crazy to escape punishment. Mom lowered her eyes, her voice flat. It doesn't matter, just leave it be. After taking a painkiller, I sat on my yoga mat to massage and stretch. I originally thought I'd be dragging a bad leg for the rest of my life, but when I was in Dominica, the landlord and Linda took me to see a top-tier orthopedic specialist. After more than half a year of treatment and rehab, as long as I wasn't running, you could barely tell that my leg was ever severely injured. Just then the doorbell rang. Besides Miss An Lan and Officer Xiao Zhao, no one knew I lived here. Unless I frowned and opened it. But on the intercom screen, a beautiful but slightly haggard face appeared. A face I wanted to forget, but could never quite manage to. My voice dropped, but the static-laced sound still reached Susinio's ears. It really is you. Susinio didn't know why, but in that moment, she almost couldn't stop the tears from falling. Jingshan, I knew you were Jingshan. How could you be Lu Chenyu? You are the Lei Jingshan I've been looking for all this time. Hearing this, I yanked the door open. No, I am Lu Chenju. I pulled an ID out of my briefcase in the entryway and held it right in front of Su Xinyao's face. I am Lu Chenju. Su Xinao, the Li Jingshan you've been looking for has been dead for a long time. Did you forget? You were the one who personally sent him to prison. You killed him with your own hands. I stared at Su Xinao coldly. What kind of deep, undying love are you faking now? Ignoring how ashen and awful her face looked, I spoke word by word, every syllable meant to wound. Li Yingshan died a long time ago. It was you, Li Yangshu, and the Lai family, who teamed up and murdered him in prison. At this, I smirked. Actually, no. He died even earlier than that. He died many years ago, on the day you chose Lai Yangshu. Su Xinio's face turned deathly pale under my barrage of gut-wrenching words. Jingshan, I'm sorry. So the words I'm sorry are really that cheap? In just one night, this was already the second time I'd heard it come out of Su Xinyao's mouth. But what good does an apology do? All the damage that was caused has long been irreversible. They've left indelible scars over time. Screaming that Su Xinyo cannot be forgiven. It's too late. Everything is too late. 7 years ago. It's not like I didn't beg you to hear me out. Even just one sentence. Did you listen? 7 years later you hurt me even worse. I told you I hoped you'd never regret it. I kept my expression neutral. Su Xinyo, do you regret it now? Do you? Feeling my icy stare in her dreams. And when awake, the truth confessed by Li Yangshu himself. It was a slow torture. Su Xinyo made one mistake and hurt someone so incredibly important. How could she not regret it? Jingshan, I know one wrong move ruins everything. 7 years ago, I was already unforgivable. 7 years later, I couldn't be more wrong. I never expected you to forgive me. I just beg you to give me a chance to atone. Please. Susinio's eyes were already red. I rejected her coldly. No, Su Xinia, right now all I want is for you to stay far away from me. The farther the better. With that, I shut the door in her face. That night, I didn't sleep a wink. But the next morning, when I opened the door, I jumped. Susinio was actually kneeling outside my door, looking at the state of her. It was obvious she had knelt there all night. The heating had already started in Beijing, and the temperature in the hallway at night was probably below freezing. I didn't expect Susinio to use this method to atone. Good thing this building is one apartment per floor. Otherwise, who knows what the neighbors would say if they saw her. I frowned deeply. Susinio, when are you going to change this habit of doing whatever you want? Hearing my voice, Susinio slowly lifted her head. Her face was as pale as snow, and her lips were incredibly cracked. Jingshan, what did you say? I said, coldly. I said your atonement is interfering with my life. And besides, if you want to atone, shouldn't you give me back my kidney first? This time it was my turn to look down from above, aloof. Susinio stood up, shakily. You're right. Her legs were so numb and weak it was absurd. She pulled a sharp dagger out of her pocket, and right in front of me, without any hesitation, stabbed it towards her heart. In that split second, I saw it clearly. That dagger was from 10 years ago. A Tibetan knife I brought back from a sketching trip to the Potala Palace in Tibet. That year, for Susinio's 20th birthday, I gave her this jewel-encrusted Tibetan knife and a painting as a birthday gift. Thank you, Jingshan. This is my favorite birthday gift this year. I still remember how Susinio lowered her eyes back then, looking at me with a faint smile. I thought she had thrown this dagger away a long time ago. Whack! The sound of the blade piercing flesh. Immediately, warm blood gushed out frantically, like a burst dam, as Susinio fell backward. She only heard my panicked voice. Are you crazy? Susinio was dazed for a moment. Then, she felt her heart being pressed down by my warm palm. She also heard my hoarse screaming. Susinio, I am telling you, even if you die right now, I won't forgive you. Not in this life, not in the next. I will never, ever forgive you. St. John's Hospital. Susinio was rushed into the emergency room. When Mom heard the news from Assistant Wu, she rushed over. She pulled me, covered in blood, over to her, checking me up and down. Jingshan, my precious son, are you okay? I smoothly dodged Mom's soft, warm hands. I'm fine. This is all Suginio's blood. What did you just call me? Mom realized her slip of the tongue and blurted out, I'm sorry. I sat on the bench nearby, waving it off magnanimously. It's fine, I understand. It's just that Mom was used to calling Li Yangshu and Li Siwai that. It's just a habit. Mom walked up to me, but then firmly dropped to her knees. Jingshan, I was already anxious and craving a smoke, and this sudden move startled me. I quickly grabbed Mom's arms. What are you doing? You're an elder. You're Mrs. Lyle. How can you kneel to me? I don't know why, but that sentence pierced Mom's heart deeply. Mom looked up, tears already streaming. Jingshan, I just want to apologize to my son. As a mother, I suddenly found it incredibly funny. Mother, why do people always regret things only after they lose them? Only after paying a bloody price? Do they realize they were wrong? Mrs. Li, do you want me to forgive Li Yangshu? In that moment, that was the only possibility I could think of. I looked at Mom and said calmly, I'm just a powerless, unimportant painter now. My forgiveness doesn't matter. If you guys feel guilty about it, you can just pretend Li Jingshan is dead. I smiled lightly. I haven't introduced myself since coming back. My name is Lu Shenyu. Whether it was Mrs. Lai, or you can just pretend Li Jingshan is dead. Both made Mom's heart twist in agony. She shook her head repeatedly. No, no, Jingshen. I don't mean to ask you to forgive Yang Shu. Yang Shu did so many unforgivable things to you. Whether he suffers from a guilty conscience, or a lifelong regret, or has to relive all your suffering, it's what he deserves. Mom gripped my hand tightly. You don't have to forgive him. Even with me, your dad, CY, or Miss Su, you can choose not to forgive us. Jingshen, we failed you. I just want to compensate you. I interrupted gently. No need. I don't need it anymore. Don't need it anymore meant I needed it once. But that's in the past. Mom's expression was firm. She took several documents out of her handbag. I know, whatever we do now, you don't care anymore. But we have to give you what's yours. Here's an agreement to transfer shares of the Lie Group. This is under my name. I've already had it notarized. Now it's yours. There are also 2 properties. Your grandfather bought them for you when he was still alive. These belong to you anyway. Mom looked at me, her eyes full of caution. She forced a smile. You've become a painter now. That's wonderful. There are several good art galleries in Beijing. And private museums too. I had someone buy them. Now, they're yours too. I still shook my head and refused. Mrs. Lee, I can't accept these. I'm doing fine now. I really don't need them. But, Mom kept looking at me with that gentle, loving gaze. Child, these belong to you. I'm just returning them to their rightful owner. Faced with Mom looking at me like that, how could I, who had lacked love since childhood, not be moved? But some damage can't be erased with a few words or material things, especially after growing up. I still slowly but firmly shook my head. Mrs. Lion, the one thing I've learned most clearly from birth till now is nothing in this world is guaranteed to belong to anyone from birth. Not blood, not love. I smiled under Mom's sorrowful gaze. Mom, I really used to hope you could love me as much as you loved Li Yangshu. But now, I really don't need it. No one will die just because they don't have someone's love. I paused, then said softly, especially the sharpest sword or the loudest slap. Mom had sparked a glimmer of hope because I called her Mom. But the words that followed made her turn pale again. Jingshen, are you really not willing to give me even one chance to make it up to you? Before I could answer, the red in surgery light suddenly went out. The doctor walked out and asked, Are you the family? You can relax. Because she was brought in on time and resuscitated. The patient is no longer in critical condition. I stood up, even covered in blood. It couldn't hide my resilient and striking aura. Thank you, doctor. When will she wake up? The doctor answered honestly. The patient might be very exhausted right now, so she'll likely be unconscious for a while. It's hard to say exactly how long. Could be 2 or 3 hours. Could be a day or 2. I nodded. Okay. Since she won't wake up anytime soon, there's no point in me staying at the hospital. Mrs. Lee, please inform her assistant. I still have work to do. Sorry, I can't stay longer. That Mom earlier felt like just a hallucination for her. Or maybe it was a final act of pity before completely cutting ties. Mom's heart ached in waves. Watching my retreating back, she couldn't help but call out, Jingshen. I turned around, confused. Is there something else? Mom smiled weakly. No. Take care of yourself. Don't work too hard. I replied softly. Okay, thanks. Polite and distant. Once my figure disappeared around the corner of the hallway, Mom collapsed into the chair. As if she'd lost her backbone, she looked at those documents. Even if I didn't want them, these things still belong to me. Meanwhile, in the VIP ward, Su Xiniao, even in a deep sleep, had her brows tightly furrowed. She was clearly dreaming of me again. In the dream, my figure was blurry. always pushing her away. Jingshan, I was wrong. I was wrong because even though I loved you the most, I still chose to fake marry Lai Yangshu. I was wrong because even though I hesitated, I still sent you to prison. Jingshan, is it too late to say I love you now? I love you. I really love you. Su Xiniao tried to grab the blurry shadow, but shadows can't be caught. Even if you catch it, it vanishes quickly from your palm. Jingshan, I'm sorry. I'm willing to accept punishment. I'm willing to give up everything, as long as you look at me again. Smile at me. Accept that I love you. How ironic and tragic that she only dared to say love in a dream. But I would never know this.